Chapter 1: The Luminous Threshold. The horizon burned with the dying hues of twilight as Dr. Maya Harris stood on the edge of the world. The wind carried the salty breath of the ocean, mingling with the scent of damp earth, while waves murmured ancient secrets at her feet. Above, the first stars pierced the deepening indigo, their cold light a stark contrast to the warmth fading in the west. Maya tightened her grip on the worn leather strap of her satchel, the weight of the spectrometer inside a familiar comfort against her hip. She had spent countless nights here on this desolate shore, chasing whispers in the cosmic background noise. But tonight felt different, charged, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. She closed her eyes, and the memory of Aaron's laughter echoed softly in her mind. Her brother had always been the adventurous one, the tether that kept her from drifting too far into her own head. It had been 3 years since he vanished, swallowed by mysteries that no one could explain. 3 years of questions without answers, of a hollow ache that never quite faded. "You're always looking up," he used to tease. "One day, the sky might just reach back." A faint smile tugged at the corners of her mouth. "Maybe tonight," she whispered. Her comlink buzzed softly. Glancing at the display, she saw Dr. Priya Patel's name flash across the screen. A colleague, yes, but also one of the few friends she allowed into her guarded world. "Working late again?" Priya's voice crackled through, tinged with concern. "Something like that," Maya replied, scanning the horizon. "Couldn't sleep." A sigh. "You know, there are rumors that you're plotting to steal my research." Maya chuckled, a rare sound these days. "Only if it's worth stealing." "Well, get some rest. The universe will still be there in the morning. That's what I'm counting on," she said, ending the call before Priya could press further. She pulled the spectrometer from her satchel, its polished surface reflecting the starlight. It was a custom piece, modified with algorithms she and Aaron had developed, a blend of traditional physics and their own theories about dimensional resonance. As she calibrated the device, a low hum resonated through the air, so subtle she almost missed it. The hairs on the back of her neck stood up. She glanced around, but the beach was empty, the only movement the gentle rise and fall of the ocean. Then she saw it, a flicker at the edge of her vision. A point of light hovering above the water, pulsing softly. The spectrometer beeped erratically, its display flooding with data that defied conventional parameters. "What are you?" she murmured, eyes wide. The light expanded, shimmering with colors she couldn't name. It danced like a living thing, beckoning. Maya's heart pounded against her ribs, a mix of fear and exhilaration coursing through her veins. She thought of the theories she and Aaron had whispered about late into the night, about parallel worlds and the thin veils that separated them. Ideas dismissed by their peers as fanciful, but which had always felt tantalizingly real. "Just because we can open doors to new worlds doesn't mean we should," Aaron had warned. "But what if the doors are already open?" she had countered. The spectrometer's readings spiked, symbols and numbers scrolling too fast to comprehend. The device grew warm in her hands, the metal vibrating. "Maya," she froze. The voice was faint, carried on the wind but unmistakable. "Aaron. Aaron," she called out, her voice barely audible over the pounding of her heart. Silence, then. "Find me." Her breath caught in her throat. This couldn't be real. She glanced at the spectrometer. The data was impossible. Particles that shouldn't exist. Energy signatures off the known charts. She tapped her comlink again. "Priya, are you picking up any anomalous readings in Sector 7? "Anomalous readings? Maya, what's going on?" "Just check, please." A pause, the sound of hurried typing. "That's strange. We're seeing elevated energy levels, but the instruments are glitching. It doesn't make sense." "It does," Maya said, her eyes locked on the expanding light. I think I've found something." "What do you mean? Maya, where are you?" "At the old beach." "Maya, listen to me. You need to get out of there. We don't know what that energy could do." She hesitated. The rational part of her knew Priya was right. But something deeper pulled at her, a connection she couldn't ignore. "I have to know," she whispered. "Damn it, Maya. Don't do anything reckless." But Maya was already lowering the comlink, her focus drawn entirely to the phenomenon before her. The light had grown, tendrils of luminescence reaching out like fingers across the water. She took a tentative step forward, the cold surf swirling around her ankles. The air was thick with ozone, the scent sharp and electric. Every instinct screamed at her to turn back, but she pressed on. Find me. The voice was clearer now, resonating inside her mind. She reached out a trembling hand. The moment her fingers brushed the light, a surge of energy shot through her, a kaleidoscope of sensations and images flooding her senses. She saw worlds layered upon worlds, cities of glass and shadow, skies painted with unfamiliar constellations. And there, amidst the chaos, Aaron's face flashed before her eyes, alive, hopeful. Maya! The shout jolted her back. She spun around to see Priya racing down the beach towards her, panic etched across her features. Stay back! Maya shouted, but it was too late. The light intensified, a blinding flash that consumed everything. Maya felt herself lifted, weightless, suspended between moments. Then, as quickly as it began, it was over. She collapsed onto the wet sand, gasping for air. The light was gone. The night returned to its quiet vigil. Priya skidded to a halt beside her. Are you okay? What happened? Maya stared at her hands. Clutched tightly was an unfamiliar object, a small pendant, intricate designs swirling across its surface, glowing faintly. I saw him, she whispered, her voice shaking. Aaron, he's alive. Priya's eyes widened. Maya, that's not possible. She met Priya's gaze, determination hardening her features. It is, and I'm going to bring him back. Priya glanced at the pendant, then back at Maya. We need to be careful. We don't know what we're dealing with. Exactly, Maya said, pushing herself to her feet, which is why we have to find out. She extended her hand to Priya. Are you with me? Priya hesitated for a moment, then sighed, a small smile tugging at her lips. Always. Together, they turned towards the path leading away from the beach, the pendant's glow guiding their steps. The night was filled with uncertainties, but also with possibilities waiting to be discovered. Maya took a deep breath, the weight of her loss tempered by a newfound hope. The boundaries between worlds were thinner than she had ever imagined, and she was ready to cross them.